Welcome, everybody. We are live. Welcome to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with my brothers Damon and Jaquari Armstrong. We have special guests tonight, Keith Barnes and Christopher Dickens. Damon Williams, he's a little held up, but he's going to try to join us tonight. Damon, he's trying to work on technical difficulties, but he'll join us as soon as he can. Let me tell you guys, it's a funny thing. No matter how long you do something, no matter how long you're good at something, some days it slips your mind. We had a solid 15-minute conversation. This was a good conversation. And your man here, Keith Armstrong, forgot to hit the live button. So sometimes, no matter how you're feeling good or how you are as a human being, sometimes you get humbled in the smallest way. And that's me. So let's do this right. And let's start here. Jaquari, how are you today, sir?
I'm well, man. And the way things work out, it's always for the best. Always for the best, man.
Okay. That's real. Hey, look, I've always been the type of person, I know I make mistakes. So it ain't gonna never throw me off when I do. Is it?
Yeah, hell no.
Chris, how you doing today, brother?
Brother, I'm blessed and highly favored. You know what I'm saying? I'm just still here on this earth, and I'm doing what I got to do, staying in the fight.
Staying in the fight. Keith Barnes, my man, how are you?
Yes, sir. I'm doing great, man. I was it was one of those days again. It was one of those days, you start out and everything is smooth. Your day is kind of laid out for you. It's like everything is this is gonna be an easy one, and the day was easy. And then when I completed the task, everything got shaky. So,
hey, man,
mm-hmm.
that's the perils of having that's the perils of having your own shit, KB. Congratulations, brother.
Congratulations, Keith Barnes.
Congratulations.
He's on them roads. He's doing what he do. I'm gonna tell you what you saying that, Keith. I'm gonna tell you something, man. My pastor, the man that baptized me at how old was I? I was probably 25.
Okay.
He said to me, and this is Reverend Delano Page. I'll never forget the man. He said to me, I see the hesitation in your eyes, young man. He was a good man. I went to school with his daughter. Good man. He said, I see the hesitation in your eyes, young man. I said, what is it? And he said, I said to him, I don't know if I'm up to the task after I get baptized to stay on the straight and narrow. He said, young man,
a great answer.
What it is about is this. You say that you're ready. Then you attempt to be ready. And he said something that always stuck with me. That always stuck with me is this. He said, son, in order to be great, you got to know what it feels not to be great.
Is that Greater Grace Baptist? Is that Greater Grace Baptist Church?
You say you have to know what it
is not to be great.
Not to be.
Okay. Let me tell you something. This is some sauce, boy. This is real. This is why I'm sharing this with you and these people out here. See, what he did, he brought it home. Because what we've been conditioned to do is we've been conditioned to think that greatness just comes out of the blue.
No, it doesn't.
But greatness is formed out of adversity. Greatness is formed out of adversity. So when you know how it feels to be without. You become great with having.
I
Just
see the
want to,
point. I see the point. I
just
see
want
the
to share
point.
that.
I see the
Just
point.
want to share that with you guys. And just for full disclosure, Keith shared that with us when we weren't on live
Mm-hmm.
because of what I didn't do.
Now,
And
okay.
but it popped in my mind. I wanted to share that.
That's some heavy stuff, man. I wanted to ask them. It sparked a question when you said that what the pastor told you, which is in light of all of that, our flaws. I don't know if we've been programmed to do it, but we tend to hide our flaws opposed to just embracing the fact you're human. Like you said, you're gonna have some days, you're gonna make some mistakes, and I have some flaws. But some people, and I was one of those people. I'm a lot better now, but I would try to hide my flaws and I was out of embarrassment because I counted it as me not being good enough or measuring up.
Gotcha.
But when you said that, it
Yeah.
made me think about that. That's kind of like the opposite, or kind of part of it.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I
good.
get. I get that. I get that. I'm gonna tell you, just out of love for the situation and out of love of what's going on. The people, the guys on this particular what we're looking at now, the four of us, and people who know me. I have no problems with letting somebody know I don't know how to do something.
Facts. That's hold on. That's recognizing your weakness. When
Yeah,
you recognize your weakness and your strength, that brings out the real man. Because everybody don't know everything. Even me. I will ask the season rookie, hey, what did they change? Oh, they did this and this and this. Okay, cool. Appreciate you. But I know my strength, I know my weakness. And once you recognize your strength and your weakness, you become a better man.
there's no doubt about it. Nobody. Peter, what's going on, baby boy?
Yeah, I see Peter PHU
I
that
see,
came
Pete.
up, my man.
Yeah, Pete, that's my real beard. I'm ready to represent the rump shakers now. I'm a managed rump shakers.
Ah, let's talk about them
Okay.
Detroit Lions. Them Detroit Lions. Let's get
I
on
know.
that.
Hold on. We getting there. We getting there. But I need you to have a clear head on the serious questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Mississippi.
No, well, hold on. See this? Hey, I'm the moderator, dog. I
Um,
got you.
my bad.
I
You
got
gave me some homework and I read on it.
you. Yes, sir. And we're gonna get to it. But you and Jaquari, because it was basically we were killing time. You and Jaquari heard me say what? I asked you guys a question, and we're gonna tell the people
Oh,
online.
okay. All
The
right. Go
question
ahead.
is, the question is, and we'll start with you, Keith Barnes.
Hmm.
Well, oh, Keith is eating.
No,
So
go ahead. I'm good.
I was being facetious when I said that. You got the big old country chew right there, boy. The shit look good. But
Oh yeah.
my question, and you hadn't been on yet, Keith. My question was, I want to make sure. Do you see yourself as just a man, or do you see yourself as a black man?
I see myself as a man. Uh, yeah, I see myself as a man. Uh, I don't have to, as far as my blackness or me being a black man. that's you don't see a eagles don't have to you don't have to tell anyone what an eagle is. People don't look at eagles and say what kind of bird is that.
Good
They
point.
just know. So that's the grand thing. That's something I'm very proud of, and it's something that I represent through action. But I see myself, the short answer, as just as a man.
Okay. Okay. Chris.
And piggyback off what Keith said, I see myself as a man, which correlates into being a black man. I recognize my heritage. I recognize the teachings of my father, who brought me to this point as a man, as a black man. So it's twofold. You really can't separate either or. I'm a black man in America.
Good point.
So therefore, I take care of my wife. I take care of my stepchildren. I take care of my grandkids. So I am a man in the sense of the word of a man. But when you look at it, I am a black man doing those things that have been left out previously up until now. So I am a black man in America.
Okay. All right. Jaquari. Hey, Damon, I'm looking for you. I don't see you in the waiting room. But hey,
Hold on, somebody's coming in. Oh, damn. Our moderator's gone.
Yeah,
That's snatched.
So Jaquari.
yeah. I think he was trying to get my brother Damon in the out of the waiting room. But I believe his question was, do you see yourself as a man or
Or
as
a
a
black
black
man.
man or a black
Exactly.
man? For me, one, they both complement each other. You know, in the sense, the standards that we see fit to stand on, as you know, as far as manhood goes, you know, my blackness has come to reinforce those standards. You know what I mean? They're pretty much interchangeable to me at this point.
Exactly. Just
You know,
same thing I
because
said.
yeah, one you know, my experience on one hand has reinforced certain aspects of, you know, things on the other hand. You know what I mean?
okay. Hey, Damon. I looked in. Danita hit me up and said that you in the waiting room. Nobody in the waiting room. Keep trying, baby. We still here. We waiting on you.
Facts.
But let me just do this. I'm saying this to you guys. I asked that question in particular because, see, me, this is my personal opinion, because there's no right or wrong to this. It's how you see yourself, first and foremost. Now, to me, if I was going to go on some conspiratorial thing, we have been conditioned not to want what everybody else wants.
Mm-hmm.
Even within ourselves, we are conditioning ourselves not to want what everyone else wants.
But is that
We
a
talk.
bad thing? Hold on, Keith. Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
Listen, man. What it is you, as you live your life, you are in pursuit of Christopher Dickens, Jaquari Armstrong, Keith Barnes, Keith Armstrong. That's your pursuit.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying to you? So when my answer to you guys is this: what do I see myself as? Right? When I look into my mirror, when I was a young boy, I looked in my mirror, I saw myself as a black man. You want to know why? Because I was young and didn't understand that manhood doesn't have a color. And when you see that manhood don't have a color, don't mean that you selling out. Because if you have compassion, if you have love for your fellow man and woman, that's the whole point. See, you have to have a clear eye. And I still see myself more as a black man.
So, real quick, you said, can you explain yourself? What did you mean by selling out?
I said sell out.
Yeah, you did.
If I said sell out, it's not really in the traditional sense because people see you as selling out. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's not, you're a sellout because you only see your man. See, that what I was saying was, if you see yourself as a man and not mention your blackness, people think you're selling out. But really and truly, it's all one and the same. You understand what I'm saying? Because of, if you have a compassionate soul, if you are a human being and understanding the plight of us in our community, it's a plight. Sometimes we lean on the conspiratorial shit too much, in my opinion. Because even if the conspiracy is true, if you mobilize and galvanize, you can turn the tide, maybe not in your time, but in your children's time and their children's time.
I'm sorry, Kelly.
No, go ahead.
If I can say, man, it's I've come upon some difficulties, man, over the years, man. Just being forced to make a choice, in certain situations. I don't necessarily feel the need to stand on a black person's side just because they're black. That's not enough for me anymore.
See, I like that. I like that. Because we need to take race out of the situation.
Whoa!
I'm not even saying that. This is
explain that because that was a little too heavy for me.
Hold on, I'll explain it once he finishes his thing.
You'll get your chance. Go ahead.
Go ahead with your.
No, you know what, Keith? I really like to let Chris speak.
Okay, now.
Okay, so
hold on. I'm listening to you, but let me just tell you what. I didn't have a problem with what you said, but you got to explain to me about taking the race out of it. I need to know what that means.
If you let me talk, I will tell you. Because number one, we as African American, we need to stop hiding behind things.
Oh, shit. Go ahead.
We do. Okay, we need to stand on our own 2 feet. We have doctors, lawyers, Supreme Court justices.
I agree.
Do we not?
Yes, sir.
So, with our education and our what is the word I want to? I had to put my head up. The word that I want to say is with our advancements, with our own power, just like me in my struggle, I pulled myself up in the bootstrap. We pulled as a race. We stand just footprint with these white folks. So, yes, we deserve to be Supreme Court justices, senators, lawyers, doctors, because we earn that. We need to stop hiding behind the fact, slavery, this and that. Okay, some of us have advanced ourselves where we can stand on our own 2 feet against this, that, and the third.
All right,
So
Chris, hold on. I'm gonna let you expound a little more, but I
go,
want to
go
throw
ahead, go
this
ahead.
in. I want to throw this in there. Is it more individual advantage as opposed to group advantage? Because
And now that
individuals,
question,
individuals, individuals get a pass the majority of the time, but groups get scrutiny.
and now that you explained it, granted, but we have a lot of people in our race that are doctors, that have their doctorate,
Of course, of course.
and can stand up and speak for us. But you know what? We've been conditioned. You're not that good. You're not that good. Even though we have doctorates, bachelors of science, masters of science, masters of arts, and I see this in my own current occupation. And I say to myself, well, what else do we have to do? What else do we have to do when these people don't have as much as we do, but we got to do 10 times more, which I'm not against. Education, like my father told me, my dad didn't even have a associate's degree. He said, Chris, I don't want you to be a boot on the ground soldier. I want you to go to college. I want you to get your degree. So when it's time, you could be a leader. That's what my dad told me. Lionel Dickens, Detroit Police Department, Homicide Division, told me that. And that was my motivation,
Okay.
not to drop out of college, but to stay in the fight, get my degree. And I see what my dad told me. And now,
Okay. Oh, hey,
I, go
Chris,
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
All
coming
right.
back to you. I'm coming back to you. And the thing about it is, we're gonna give you your time. But I want to hear from Keith and Jaquar.
That's
Keith,
fine.
Mm-hmm.
do you have anything to say about what Chris said, or you have your own thing on the subject?
Uh, I'll touch on just a few things because I got a lot of I got a lot of information floating around right now. But the thing that's what Chris was saying is, I agree. It was strong. I agree with it. The problem that I always have had growing up is watching people that look like me, and they'll get in these positions and they'll pull themselves up by their bootstraps. And then when they get in these positions, it's like, damn, this is comfortable. Wow. Well, yeah, let me help a few people. Then they help a select few. And and it's people that's sitting down here that's hungry. Instead of you giving them a blueprint or passing out a blueprint of how to do it, they'll sit there and enjoy reaping the benefits of being there. They realize that they still are not on top, but they have somebody that's under them, that's looking up to them, and they take advantage of it. They don't truly do things, not do stuff for us, but they don't give us something tangible that we can take it and run with it. Years ago, when they were building communities and stuff, back in the Booker T. Washington area with Rosewood, all that's what I'm talking about, and that's productive because they had congressmen. These were brothers that was congressmen and everything, and they were helping, not giving us stuff, just giving us the opportunity to do for ourselves. So that's all. That was one thing that sticks in my craw. That's like kind of a sour spot for me, because I've seen too many people, and I've had this conversation with you, but with you, Keith, that someone to get in a position and they change. I've heard you put the right title on. You said that so and so is a corporate guy now.
But but
They were down with the struggle at first, but now they different.
but because it's an individual sport, man. And that the thing about it is we only deal in individual sports. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm doing it to really I'm oversimplifying it, but we only deal in individual sports in the sense that I've made it. I've made it, and the comfort feels so great that I'm afraid to take a risk.
Hold on, can I say something?
Hold
Hold
just a
on,
minute.
no,
Briefly.
We're gonna let Keith finish, and then
Yeah.
Jaquar, we're gonna go into you, brother. And then
Okay.
Damon, you after Jaquar.
Yeah, briefly, not to just throw that out there as a blanket. They also, when people get in positions, uh, and they try to reach back, you have those that'll look up and say, "Okay, yeah, you're doing good. What are you gonna do for me? Give me something." They're not gonna make any effort. So you got it on both ends.
That's character, though, man. See, the thing
Yeah,
about it is we keep throwing in people's character, and it has nothing to do with a community process. Because when you're dealing with community, you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice a part of you. This is what I believe. Jaquari, what do you think, brother?
I just I kind of wanted to finish my point from earlier, man, just to clarify what I meant by my statement when I said being a black man, and I don't know, it doesn't necessarily sit well with me anymore. You know, being a black man and feeling pressured to align myself with certain things, just because of what goes on in today's society as far as social media goes, man. I mean, you know, people, Joe Schmo layman has become expert at editing videos, to promote a particular side, of an argument. But
Mm-hmm.
when in all reality, man, if you were present and witnessed, the actual exchange, you know, right or wrong, is just so relevant. I mean, relative, to the situation. So I mean, as far as the rush to judgment, man, that I'm expected to operate under as a black man, uh, it just doesn't sit well with me anymore, man. Because being a part of this community, interacting with people in this community, we can be abrasive. You I can be abrasive. So the same opportunity for a little, a little space to fuck up that we want as black men and black women in this country. You know, I'm starting to look through the microscope and see that maybe we should be getting be exercising that same thing. I mean, yeah, I mean, people have fucked up opinions, man, and they have, the opportunity to get on forums like this and express those opinions. But if we don't have a counter to those opinions, man, if we don't create, opportunities to counter those opinions, with savvy facts, then we're just gonna be spinning our wheels in the same position 100 years from now, man.
Okay. Damon. what we're answering is the question of the moment is, and then we'll explain. We kind of expanded on it, but I'd like to hear your opinion about this. Do you consider yourself? Wow.
Hmm.
He's in the middle of a snowstorm, ladies and gentlemen. So
Where's
Oh,
he
you know,
at?
he's in
Michigan.
Michigan, Western
Mich-
Michigan.
They got a
Yeah,
snowstorm?
Oh
it's
yeah.
winter. Chris, come on, man, stop
Hmm.
that.
Bro, it's raining right now where I'm at.
It's all froze up that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I was gonna say, when don't they have? That
Damn.
surprised me a bit.
How
In
about you?
I didn't know.
in the summer.
Right,
Okay.
Yeah.
that part.
All right. Well, look. Here's my thing, and then we're gonna move on to the questions we discussed yesterday. But I want you guys, to do it quick. So I'm gonna give you exactly what I'm looking for because I'm gonna answer the question. Um, does it generate a lot of anxiety to be responsible to whatever degree you're responsible for in our community? Is that a heavier burden than you're willing to at this point in your life that you're willing to take on?
It only creates anxiety if there's no preparation. I mean,
I get
you
that, I understand that, but just the overall blanket question, right? Because I asked the question because that's what you said. You believe in preparation, right?
Mhm.
But even with preparation, do you think the responsibility adds anxiety that you do not want to take on? Quickly, Chris.
How can I answer this? I'll be honest with you, Sean. I don't know how to answer that. Because number one, I'm responsible for myself, my wife, and my grandkids.
Chris. We're gonna come back to you.
You said Chris.
No, listen, we're gonna come back to you because I did say that I was gonna answer the question so you guys will understand where I'm coming from. Because I do not blame an individual for only wanting to take on the responsibility of his family. Right? I don't blame that. I don't blame that individual for feeling that way. So to answer my question, it is a burden and it generates anxiety to take on a community thing for someone who, in my opinion, who really doesn't want to do it. He or she is either following the flow with his friends or other people that they respect for doing, or they want people to look at them as somebody. Like I say, this is my opinion. As somebody who is bathing in greatness, because it goes without saying that you are here to take care of you and yours.
Facts.
My question is geared toward the community. What do you feel your responsibility is to the community? You understand now, Chris?
I got it now.
All right. It's on you.
It's on me.
Yes.
My responsibility to the community is one, in my position, to provide knowledge. Knowledge that is not taught in schools or any other formal education institute from my experience. And damn, that's a good question. Um, I'm here to provide information, information that I've learned that I can pass to our community that they don't know about. Okay.
Okay. All right, Damon, you with us, brother?
I
Damon?
think he froze again.
Yeah, he froze again. He did.
Damn that weather! Damn that weather! Um,
Damn.
Keith.
Yes. It would be anxiety for me, because at this point in my life right now, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out, and it's really a struggle. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it out loud, but I struggle trying uh, to stay positive. So it would be a lot of anxiety for me to be in that type of position because I struggle not to just totally give up hope on things getting better.
Okay.
That's just me being honest.
Okay.
That,
Damon,
that's
are you with us?
mhm.
I'm sorry, Keith.
No, go ahead.
Damon, Jaquar, what do you think, brother?
For me, I mean, you know what? I mean, I kind of invite the anxiety, man, because not that I'm some sort of adrenaline junkie or anything like that, but uh, in situations, situations like this, and situations like this podcast, and in moments where I have to speak, I'm very conscious I'm very conscious of my stutter. I'm very conscious of my filler words, and I don't shy away from them because I understand that the message that I'm trying to convey is, I believe, important. You know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, in regards, in terms of leadership and everything, it's always the image people have in their minds of a cool, calm, collected decision maker, somebody who understands the absolute end game. But in reality, man, our leaders are, especially our community leaders, considering the constant changes that our communities are subject to. A lot of times they're just flying by the seat of their pants, man, and they're making the best decisions in the moment that they can make. You know, the president, when he makes a decision, has got to be confident that even though this is what I'm standing on right now, hell, it it could have ramifications that burn the whole thing down.
Okay.
Can
But
I just?
does that?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead, sir.
no. Keep. I was gonna add. I'm gonna say this and let you add it on to what you're saying. The motive thing that motivates you, is it say with anxiety, is it anger, is it frustration, or something else that drives you to make you feel like, okay, yeah, bring that shit, let me do it.
My motivation in those situations is like, it's here, and I'm here, and this is a situation. Now, if it's a good thing, more than likely, I pray to God to put me in a position where I could have a positive influence on somebody. If it's not, if it's not such a good thing, then I thank God for helping me maintain myself in order for us all to get past this situation.
Okay.
You know, cooler heads don't always prevail. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, you know, I'm a panicker or anything like that, but you know, when I'm on, and I'm hitting on all cylinders. And my
Right.
anxiety adds to that.
Okay.
You know, people throughout history, throughout the history of man, people have always ran faster in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Not because they were afraid of the dark, but because they were afraid of what was in the fucking dark.
Right.
Now, if you can find a way to harness that for your good, you know, knowing that it's always going to be there. It's always going to be, you know, what a lot of people will consider to be your dark passenger, you know, a weakness. But if you can grab that weakness by the throat and make them work for you, then God bless you. But in the meantime, don't do anything that's going to add, you know, fan the flames of, you know, of everybody's fucking downfall.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. I agree with that.
Damon, are you with us? Look, guys. This is how we're gonna handle this.
No Salah.
If you're talking and you see Damon comes on, you know he got about a solid minute. Stop
There
talking and let's get a question in for him. Okay?
Mhm.
Facts.
Tenfo.
You know, in the meantime, one of the things we talked about yesterday was current events. But I want to talk about Damon. Are you with us, brother? Are you with us, Damon?
Keep going in
You got,
out, man. I
I
can't
know
get
that.
on, man.
No. Hey. Now, you got it?
He's
Okay.
in and out. He's still intermittent.
Yeah.
I guarantee he can hear us, but he can't respond to us. Damon, you good?
Y'all keep going in. Oh, you know, I don't even know what subject y'all talking about, man.
No, I'm gonna
But
ask
you know, y'all go ahead, handle your thing, man. And I'm gonna text. Go on in and text, man. You know, I'm not text, but respond to y'all, man.
That's cool. I mean, look, go upstairs. You know, go upstairs. You know, you always have luck upstairs, man. Hell, you talking now, right?
I got this joint right next to me, man.
Yeah, we can hear you though. All right. The question is, do you see yourself?
Okay. Go ahead.
You consider yourself a black man or just a regular man? Just give us your opinion about it.
I'm not a African American. I'm a black man. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. I don't identify with any of that stuff. You know. How am I going to take them in terms of?
Damon, what I mean is this: do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself? Hey, Dave, look. Do you consider yourself a man first or a black man first? Okay. Hey, hit the comments, brother. Give us your answer. Did you hear my question? All right.
Do I consider myself a man, a black man, or just a regular man?
Yes, sir. I know you're in the middle of the matrix, though.
This is what I'm gonna do,
man. Neo. You back? You with us, dog?
Can you hear me?
All right.
Keep breaking up, man.
We can hear you. We can hear you now.
Ask somebody else a question, man. Do I consider myself what?
Do you consider yourself a man first or a black man first?
I consider myself a black man first
The same thing I said.
because that's something I can't escape. Man.
Facts.
Good
Preach.
point.
You
Good
know,
point.
that's
Good
something I
point.
can't escape. That anybody that see me, that's what they're gonna recognize. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to deviate from that. African American. I'm like, what's my man name? I forgot his name, man. But with the podcast, he's like, I ain't no African American. I'm a black man. I mean, that's how the world see you. You can't not disassociate yourself from that, man. Just by what they see, you know. So why not embrace it?
Facts.
This
Good point.
just answer your question.
Good point. Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you guys' opinion about, and we talked about it yesterday. Jackson, Mississippi. The body's buried behind the jail, right? And the question I wanted to ask you guys was this. And somebody brought it up yesterday. Just to give a little bit of background, mother reported her son missing, right? And she was reporting him missing to the authorities, going back and forth. But somehow they got information that he might have been buried behind the jail. They went back to go find the son, and they ended up finding 200 bodies back there. Now, the news said that the bodies were marked, right? Well, when it all came out, one of the police officers accidentally hit her son and killed him. And then, without full statement, took him behind the jail and buried him. So my question is this. Is it cause for alarm that the first crime was hitting the man and killing him and then burying him behind the jail, or the fact there were 200 other bodies behind the jail? What do you think the overall theme, the thing that we should be concerned about? And we'll start with you, Keith.
Um, you know, for me, it's not jaw dropping, shocking to me because it's happened over and over and over again. This made the news.
Yeah.
Just so happened this made the news because somebody gave some information and it got discovered. If somebody hadn't given that tip and they went back there and they found all those bodies looking for this brother, it'd have been another day at the office. And when they did find out about it, it would have been just him. He was found, swept under the rug. That's my honest opinion of what. So it's not jaw dropping. It's not shocking or anything like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Because it don't shock me a bit. And the thing I guess that kind of did surprise me is it's a mixed group of people in there. There's some white people back there been buried in there too. So the thing that, if anything, is shocking to me is that how calmly it's being pursued.
Got
This is you talking. This is some Steven Spielberg shit. This is some Steven Spielberg. This is some horror movie stuff where you sitting and then someone goes in. What the motel? You go in
Yeah.
there and then you just vanish, and then years later they find out you had the crime rate is down.
Find your remains.
All the criminals buried behind the shit.
Oh my God!
Mm.
I mean,
Wow.
so I guess the short answer to that, man, is just like it's not surprising to me. But what is surprising to me is how shocked we are. How we shocked.
Yeah.
This has always happened to us. It's in the history books when our ancestors, when
Emmett Till.
grandma and all of them, they used to sit down and tell us stories.
Emmett
Mhm.
Hey,
Till.
be careful walking down there. Y'all know that. You go out, watch yourself, stay in a group.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
leave
they
each other. Know where you at. Know where your brothers at. Know where your cousins at. Let somebody know something.
then they
For
then they
that
fi-
reason.
then they recently find a slave burial ground with just as many bodies in fucking Wall Street, in the middle of fucking Wall Street or something like that.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, because
So,
they built it on top of a slave
I never
cemetery.
heard that before.
Yes. Ain't that
No,
crazy?
I heard it. I heard it.
Since there in Central Park, on top of slave cemeteries and moving them out. Yeah, it's
So they
crazy.
just needed the
Dave,
land, right?
So let me ask you guys a question.
hold on, Chris. Hold on. Now that we got Damon with us, we need him to answer because we want to hear from him tonight.
That's right. That's right. Because he ain't.
So what do you think?
But here's the thing: when you think about past experiences, how black people treated, whatever, the thing that made me think beyond that, not making racial, is that it's white people buried there too. So what I wound up doing, man, I started researching, what is the protocol in terms of burying bodies in the state of Mississippi. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because if you look at all out of those 215 bodies, man, most of them were buried in body bags. So they was just following a protocol when people were not responding to phone calls and stuff like that. I mean, you have to consider that.
Yeah.
What's important, man, is that if you have a loved one that's lost, missing, or whatever, you can't identify them. The one thing that you have to think about is the final business that they had to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Burial, insurance, all that. So imagine. So that's what my mindset is, man. Imagine, man, having a loved one, man, that's going missing. That all this, money and insurance and all this stuff exists, but because you don't have a death certificate, you can't access it. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm thinking about is how many people in there out of those 215, how many people in there had insurances and things that they could pass down to families or whatever that can't, if you don't have a body to produce because you don't have a death certificate, all that stuff goes to where?
To the state.
You see what I'm saying? It goes to the
Yeah.
state. So is there a conspiracy there? So that's where my mind goes when I think about it. Do I think they just killing people and throwing them back there? I don't think that's the case. I
really think that's the case. I really think that's the case because number one, this brother that lost his life. This brother that lost his life had a mother, had a family, and they try to cover up his death by burying him in the back of the jail. So how can you say, is it a conspiracy, this, that, and the third, when this situation has showed you the cover up?
Now,
it is a cover up. I'm sorry.
Hold on. he's not saying it's not a cover up because that individual case is a cover up. But what he was saying was everyone else were buried in body bags, and it might have been situations where, like Damon explained, where they were looking for relatives, but they didn't have information on it.
Let me tell you how much that percentage is. That big.
Okay.
This brother that died had a family in that community.
Yeah.
Okay. I read the article. I read the article. I read the article. I listened to the interviews. This brother was from that community.
Yeah.
So, as the officer is trying to cover his wrongdoing.
That's true. I believe that.
So you're gonna bury him behind the jail when nobody when nobody gives a fuck. We know that those burials exist, but nobody cares. Nobody's gonna look. So you got conspirators,
can I say something?
co-conspirators.
Yeah.
You got the officer. Listen, the officer fucked up. He killed the brother that didn't need to be killed. So you bury him behind the jail.
Well, let somebody else. But I want to address that. But I'm gonna let somebody else who got something to say.
Go ahead. No, address it.
Address what you're saying.
Address it.
No. We're gonna
Because
go
it's not as cut as. I mean, I understand.
We're gonna let Jaquari go, and then we're gonna come back to you, Damon.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hart Island in the state of New York, but
Yeah.
that is where they send the people who die in prison, the people who die, unhoused and everything. That's the island that they send all those people to bury them, and basically what's become a pauper cemetery. There's over 13,000 bodies out there. You know what I mean? I mean, death in this country, man, is just like every other business, man. It's an ugly business. It's an ugly business. I mean, there's a high end, and unfortunately, there's a low end. Everybody wants to be respected after they moved on from this plane, but circumstances and economics, man, they don't always coincide to let that happen. Unfortunately, the wrongdoings that's going on in this case, by all means, they need to be investigated and prosecuted, and to the letter of the law. But outside of that, what else are they to do? People have to be buried. People have to be, I hope, respected. And like I said, any wrongdoings, hopefully would be called to the forefront and handled.
Okay. Hey, Damon, quick response to what earlier you were trying to say. Are you there, Damon?
What I'm saying, man, the point I'm making is that, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I talked to a few people, man, because I was doing research on it. I was doing research on it because I was intrigued by it, man. But if you look at it from state to state, there are a lot of situations where people don't claim the loved ones, man, because they don't know, they don't have the wherewithal. People are overwhelmed, they don't know what calls to make, or they just give up and just say, hey, you know what? It's easier to do this or do that. Is there negligence there? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing, and this is the last point we'll make, the one thing I had to have awareness of, in terms of myself, is that, there was a situation where a cop ran over this brother. There's negligence there and all that stuff. You got to go through the process, investigation, of course, whatever, to find that out. But you're talking about 214 other people. Is that the case? You know what I'm saying? people might disregard, say, hey man, this person is dead. I don't feel like going through the process of finding his loved ones. We're just gonna bury him back there. There's a lot of factors involved in that, man. And I don't think it's malicious, is what I'm saying.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think it's
that's the
malicious
fact in
because
this case. I don't
you
think that's the fact in this case. I think the fact in this case, they're covering up the illegitimate homicide of a black man. And they want to put it there where nobody looks for it.
but Chris, they're not saying that they're not disagreeing with you. In this case, if it's correct and this guy ran this man over and this guy had the body, that's at least at the minimum manslaughter because
Vehicular
he tried to hide
manslaughter.
the body.
Check
He
this
tried to
out
hide.
though. Okay.
But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I just want to say, have y'all all of this for all of you? You know, they think a little different than we do. I was thinking, you think they could have been just harvesting organs, body organs and stuff? That's a big business.
It is. But
You
I
get
don't
oh
think
my
somebody in there.
God.
Keith, I don't think that's in this case in Mississippi.
There's 215 bodies.
Right. But listen to what I'm
But,
saying.
we also got to consider
I think what's happening in Mississippi
over
is
the
they're
years.
covering up the illegitimate homicide of African American men and men of low stature.
Well, hold on, Chris. And guys, here's my thing. This is what I'm seeing. You guys on one side, you're saying, well, look, we're looking for these folks, people can't find them. We need to bury these folks, right? And then on the other side, you're saying, well, look, we don't know how many guys was murdered, white or black, that was murdered and buried back there, right?
Hmm.
It's down the middle because you guys are not disagreeing, but it's really split in the middle. Because would I be
Irremiss.
no, exaggerating when he said split down the middle? There was about 100, at least 100 of these folks who died under mysterious circumstances, and another over years now. Because we got to think, them 200 bodies didn't go all of a sudden. Because guess what? We would have found out because that's too many people missing at one time.
Right.
But
Exactly.
But hold on. The one thing you got to remember, it's rural South area.
It's in the middle. It's in the middle of Jackson. It's right outside Jackson, Mississippi.
And
Bro.
listen,
But
my grandmother was born in Jackson. I spent time in Jackson as a child, so I know.
Well, hey man, we all
there-
got family in Jackson, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
Listen,
lying.
you got
But
if
it's
look,
something that Jacory
if you-
said, man. It's something that Jacory said. I didn't mean to cut
You
you
got-
off, Chris, but it's something that he said that. Go ahead, bro.
no, you go ahead, man.
no, so
Go ahead.
you got
No,
No, you-
no. Only point I'm saying is something that he said when he talking about New York, but you talking about way back in the day, man, when whatever. But do you really think that it's the same thing? You know what I'm saying? What if there are people who found out that their loved ones that was on the deathbed, was done whatever, and they didn't have money to bury those people?
I mean, it's many layers. It's many layers to it, and that's my point. It's many layers to everything that happened and every single person back there. You know what I'm saying?
But okay, but that's true. I give you that.
When you think
But
about
let's talk
foul
about
play,
no.
when you think about foul
Let's
play,
talk
that's
about
a high number.
no.
man.
Let's hold on. Let's talk about this brother right now. He got hit by a cop,
who got ran over.
and they cover up his murder.
They did.
They covered
did.
up his murder,
But
and they put him in an area where nobody would suspect. But then when they looked in that area, oh my God, I
Well,
think the Department of Justice needs to go down there and open an investigation and see who's who and what's what. That's the bottom line.
Hey, KB, that they're talking about your harvest, organ harvest. If they do exhume bodies and find out what's missing. I'm
yeah,
saying
they've
it's
already
all.
started it.
So
Yeah.
they found.
But hold on.
Yeah, they
That
said
organ heart.
some was so
Listen. That organ heart.
decomposed they couldn't make out who
Right.
they
That's
were.
what I'm saying. The organ harvesting. That's play that out of. Put that out
You
of your
can't
mind.
do that, man. That's
Because
some
you
money.
had those organs
No,
have to
hey,
be fresh and alive.
That's who they
Chris,
target. They
Chris.
target people.
The point is, well, like I said earlier, there's many layers to that. There's 200 bodies back there, right?
Yeah,
That nobody's supposed to know about. Not,
right.
oh, that's an open secret. Everybody knows. No, nobody's supposed to know about those bodies back there. That's
That's why they.
why. That's why the officer buried
The brother back there.
yeah, yeah.
Because
That's
Yeah,
nobody
exactly.
But
thought to even look back there.
most of those, most all of those are shallow graves. Ain't no caskets back there. It's body bags. Shallow
That's
exactly.
graves.
That's what they said.
that's
You
it.
know what I'm saying? I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
so
Well,
you
let's
don't
do
think the
this.
community knew about it?
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, that's why I say there's many layers. That's why I'm not. You notice I haven't given you a definite because it's a lot of layers to that shit. To be honest with
Yeah, but in the community, if you're looking for your loved one for like 5-6 years, that's the first place you're gonna go because
you.
you understand that that's where people are buried at with unmarked graves. You know that.
Yeah, but they're not
So
gonna go
so
back
so
there.
so is in terms of organ harvesting and all that stuff.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's on jail property, so they ain't gonna let you just go back there and look for shit. And then
That's the key.
they pretty
Can y'all
much,
hear me?
yeah, they were pretty much trying to hide it from people.
But
You
if the
understand?
department, hold on, if the Department of Justice opens up an investigation, that jail ain't got no jurisdiction. It
No,
falls
no,
under the federal jurisdiction at that time.
I get it. I get it. I get it. But look, hey Damon, you with us? Next question. Over the Christmas holiday, and I found out these kids was from Florida. 14 and 15-year-old kids was arguing about the price of their Christmas presents in which their older sister bought for them. They were arguing over it, and they started fighting.
And then one kid got killed, right?
And they pulled pistols on each other, and the sister tried to break it up, and one killed the sister, shot the sister, and then the other one pulled out a pistol and shot his brother in the stomach. And as far as I know, the brother is in the hospital trying to recover.
Yeah, he's
Right?
recovering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're starting with you, Jaquan. What is your take on it? Your personal take.
Obviously a tragedy, man. But it'd be absolutely foolish to think that, everything spiraled out of control on Christmas morning. I mean, there was probably so much dysfunction in that family, and to begin with, because they're both in their what mid to early to
14
mid
and
teen,
Yeah,
yeah,
14,
mid teens. I mean, and they both walking around the house with pistols. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you know, Christmas ain't had nothing to do with this situation.
yeah,
And it's just too bad that it played out like that because the mother. I don't know if the dad is there, but that's 3 kids is gone. Three
yeah.
children are gone.
Literally, yeah.
That's real.
So I pray for him, man. I pray for him.
Chris,
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Corey. Um, you got 2 kids walking around the house with guns over Christmas gifts. I mean, come on, man. For real? This is what we boiled down to? But I put the blame on one area. I put the blame on the parents. Because see, each one of us in this forum, especially us raised in Detroit, kids were meant to be seen and not heard. These kids now have an opinion. They got an opinion. Who gives a shit about your opinion? You don't pay no bills. You don't provide for the house. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I laughed about that because it's so true, but
I mean,
it's crazy at the same time though. But go ahead.
I get that. But I'm not gonna say me because I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent because I knew my limitations with children. For those who are parents, bringing kids up in this generation, y'all punks. Because the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. Does it not?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
what it says.
Okay. I ain't no preacher, but let me talk. If we start beating our kids' asses, we wouldn't have the sectarian violence that we have now. We took religion out of the schools, and look where we at now.
So hold that thought. So you're telling me the fact that we took the religion out of school and it's responsible for violence, or does it?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. It's a contributory fact.
Okay.
Because the way you, Keith, Ja'Cory, Damon, and I was raised, you pledged allegiance to the flag. Your parents said prayers over you before you walked to school. Did they not? Okay. All right. I'm just speaking fact. And all of us, with the exception of Keith Barnes, grew up in a metropolitan city with sectarian violence. Did it not?
Yes.
Okay. So back to what I was saying. These kids, these children, our children have too much opinion in their life. And we actually entertain that bullshit. We do. Because number one, like I said, I'll never forget. My mama was talking with Miss Fleming, that stayed next door to my house. And she said a child needs to be seen but not heard. And as I grow older, I'm 49 now, I'm going into 50. I understand that. Because we as parents want to be our kids' friend and not their parent. Not their parent. Kids need to know their fucking place in this life. And it's not in parental control. They don't. If you don't buy the house, you don't pay bills in the house, you ain't got no say so. But these parents allow these kids to have say so. You can't do that. I'm sorry. That's me. I'm gone.
Keith.
Yes. Hit me with that question one more time. I kind of got caught up in there.
Your opinion about the 14 and 15-year-old, man.
Oh, okay, that's right. So we got kind of deep there. Let me see.
I'm sorry. I went
no,
deep.
no, not you. We were all deep talking about it, but you know, through many years of experience dealing with youngsters that age, I guess all of us can agree it does start in the house.
Facts.
And it starts when they toddlers, they walking around with bottles in their hand. It's not so much about the ass whipping. The thing is, with me, growing up in the dirty South, they told me that we whipping your ass when you deciding you gonna do it your way. If you obedient, if you do what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it, you don't have to worry about it. I want you to hear me. That's what the term they use. I want you to hear me and then mind me. Do what I say. But when you go against the grain,
You
start doing
catch
what you
that
want to
work.
do, then
You catch that work.
that's when I'm gonna start tearing ass up. And I remember one day I asked my grandfather, I said, why do we have to get why do I have to get whippings? And he said, I said, why I can't just do what I want to do like the adults? He said, we don't do everything we want to do. He said, and you can do whatever you want to do. And then he said, you see all these trees around here? I said, yes, sir. He said, you think your ass can hold out? You do whatever you want to do. So he says, but his whole point was like, that's it's options. But what's missing, I think, with those young men definitely is male, positive male uh, interaction. Because it's obvious it's not there, and it's a lack of morals and respect. You don't have guns in your mama house.
That's real.
I ain't gonna bring a gun in your house.
On Christmas, yeah.
Hold
Yeah,
on, hold on.
if any of
Hey,
you invite
Keith,
me
hold
to
on.
your
You
house,
can bring a gun in my house.
well, see, that's different. Cause see how you saying that, but if Jacory or
Oh
Keith
yeah,
invite me to the house,
I'm not gonna bring my gun in the house.
I'll leave it in the car and
Exactly.
come in the
But
house.
it's
But that's just the respect thing. But I'm
Yeah.
definitely not bringing it in the house like that, and then I ain't gonna pull it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of respect stuff. It's a lot of respect, a lot of stuff that should have been taken care of as little people that didn't get taken care of.
But just think about the whole scenario, though, man. I mean, what level of competition is it for them to be beefing over such a trivial thing in the first place? I
Exactly.
mean, and that actually does for me bring into question the economics. I mean, Chris, you pointed out the fact that you didn't buy the house, you don't put the groceries in the house, and so on, such and such. But I think we may be failing to realize the fact that maybe they were. Maybe they were
Yeah.
the main source of income in
Exactly.
the
okay. Oh,
house,
hold on, Jacory.
and
Let me.
it's certain liberties that they felt like they could take
Hold on.
Exactly.
since they was bringing
No,
home the
no, no,
bacon.
no, no, no. Bullshit.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm the man in my house. Okay.
Chris,
I provide.
hot bullets burn, man. But go ahead and finish.
I'm the man in my house. Now I have a 29-year-old stepson, and I had to let him know you don't control nothing in this house because I protect your mama. That's not your job no more. That's my job. I provide for your mama. That's not your job. That's my job. But I did it in a respectful manner. But the bottom line is this. These kids think they have a liberty on the same level as an adult. They don't.
Well,
But
We
did
adults.
you see my
but
point though? I mean, when they're paying the rent, bro.
They paying the rent in their house. They're not paying it in my house.
No,
no, no, no.
No,
he's paying it
I'm speaking about these boys though, and I don't know the
See,
circumstance. I don't know the circumstances.
speculation. It might be some speculation. Jacory might be right about that
Yeah.
because if they felt free to pull a pistol out on each other, whether they intended on shooting each other or not, you comfortable enough to pull a pistol out, man, and you arguing over a Christmas present.
Oh, I
Not,
mean,
not
but see,
but
that's where the parental guidance has failed. The mother, the father, whatever is in place should have put a stop to that.
All right, let me say this to you.
She know they was packing.
So hold on.
She got the fuck out the way.
Here's
I'm
the
sure
funny.
she knew.
I'm gonna look at my sons. I love them dearly, but I'm gonna look at my sons differently if I know they brought a pistol in my house. You understand what I'm saying?
And you should. And you
Well,
should.
hold on.
Because you're the king of the castle.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm agreeing with you, but here's the key to it. You being the father and the authority figure and the king of your castle. So if you find out your son, whether he's 14 or 15 years old, got a pistol in your house, and he pulled it on his brother, you don't give a damn about you. You understand what I'm saying to you? He don't give a damn about you. That's my opinion. So the young man accidentally killed his sister. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because I know he didn't want to kill his sister, but he tried to kill his brother. So that's dysfunction to immaturity and dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the key to it. See, me, okay, say conservative black and white folks just get fed the information that we all got fed. But the guys here went in and investigated and read and looked at every piece of it, right? What could be going through, and you 14 and 15, you immature as hell, but what is going through your mind to pull a pistol on your brother? That in itself is combination with what Jaquari said, that they taking care of themselves more than anything. They taking care of themselves in the street. They probably belong to a gang. You feel what I'm saying?
I get it.
I said probably. I said probably because I don't know. I don't listen. You tell me the full story, but if I don't hear it come out of their mouths, I know some of it is some artistic license. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm sitting here wondering, why the fuck is you mad? And this is information that we was fed about a Christmas present when you got a pistol.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Why the fuck are you mad about a Christmas present when you got a pistol?
You got
And I'm not owning anything. Hey, Damon, did you answer this question about the 14 and 15-year-olds? I can't remember. All right, go ahead. It's on you, brother.
I think you're muted, bro.
Yeah, he's muted. He's muted.
You're muted, Damon. All right, it's on you, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Here's as I looked at the situation. I mean, I know what it is, how it transpired, and all that stuff, man. But it doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Why it happened the way it did? Was it an accident? I mean, in my mind, it's an accident. But I'm coming from.
They both packing pistols. Both
Yeah,
of them.
they didn't mean to. He didn't mean to kill his sister. I know he didn't.
That's the only accident happened.
Right.
Go ahead, Damon.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That was an accident. That was, I mean, what is he going to be charged with, man? You know what I'm saying, what is he going to be charged with? Was his intentions to kill his sister? She stepped in the middle.
Involuntary manslaughter.
There was just too young. Right. You got two cast men who trying to flex and act like they're this and all that stuff, and shit happens. And when I think about that, when I think about those guys, man, I think about how misguided they are, because the first thing they did was put out the hammer. over some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, dude.
Christmas gift.
And now they got both of them have to live with that for the rest of their life.
That's real.
You know, we can get into the the laws and all, those type of aspects about it, but what's really happening is that these two brothers, man, is going to have to figure out how to live with the consequences of what they did. And I think what they did, I don't think that they were malicious in their act. I think they were just young, stupid, and was trying to flex, and some shit happened. You know, not unless you go to that conspiracy thing.
But
let's go to that conspiracy thing. Hey, you know what, my man? In his mind, he was really plotting against his sister, but there was a convenient excuse to. You see how ridiculous that shit sound, man?
No, that sounds.
Both of these cats was doing gunplay, right? Both of these cats doing gunplay, whatever, and their sister got killed, and they both have to live with that. You know, and
but
that's just
Damon,
what it is. You know,
Damon, you know what's so crazy? But what's so crazy about what you said was the simple fact they was arguing about who had the most expensive present. So plotting on the system might have been the case. I'm joking, but it is what it is. Go ahead, finish, brother.
I just wanted to say also that update. They said that the youngest one that's in the hospital, they charging him with first-degree murder, and the older brother, he's charged with attempted first-degree murder.
Yeah.
So the older brother that did the shooting, that initiated, he gets off lesser. So the younger brother that was defending himself gets the heart of it.
The younger brother shot the sister, and then the older brother shot him.
Yeah. That.
Either way you look at it, there's no winners in this situation.
No, not even close.
Is that stand your ground shit? You know what I'm saying?
No, you know
what
why?
is it? I mean,
you want to know why? Because this is my opinion. Because they black. But the older brother, he got a case for standing your ground.
Yeah, but what state is he in?
Florida.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, yeah, he's Florida.
That's what I'm saying. That dumbass law in Florida. He actually got a case. But you know what? His complexion, he's been in the sun too long. So you know what? They trying to get both. All right.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Can
I ask all the men? Can I ask y'all a question, man? When y'all first heard about it,
Who's asking a question?
What was your first initial thought, bro?
Me personally, I thought it was sad.
Corey, you finna say something. What's your?
No,
that is the saddest shit I've heard in a long time, bro.
Yeah. I when I heard about it, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I thought it was
over Christmas gifts. Are you fucking kidding me?
I thought it was a
have we reduced ourselves to this level?
I can see how you saw that.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I'm really interested to know, man, because more than likely, had this happened in my area, then I would have to, in some ways, be responsible for helping these young men to move on to the next level of their lives. Now, when I consider that, man, I'm really, really, I don't want to say bothered by the question, but when I ask myself, how much of their lives at 14 and 15 or 15 and 16, how much of their lives do they really need to spend in punishment for this situation?
The rest.
Hold on.
It's the rest of their lives. Because number one, you know right from wrong. Am I not at that age? You know right from wrong.
Not in the state of Virginia.
Listen, Virginia is a commonwealth.
No, hold on, my God, because you gotta understand, and Chris, we're in the state of North Carolina, the juvenile system here is a therapeutic system.
Oh, it
Absolutely.
is. Every bit of. And it's modeled after that shit in Virginia, Kentucky, because in Virginia, an 18-year-old is still considered a juvenile. Now, when me and you came on board, Keith came on board, 16, 17, 18-year-old could be tried as an adult. But we get all this hug a bunny, save a tree. Now we want to model ourselves at the other states that are around us and say that juveniles can't commit crimes like that. Bullshit. They can. And they are. I'm sorry to say, Keith, listen, I'm a black man. I grew up in Detroit just as y'all did. You have to accept responsibility. That's the bottom line.
But
Hug
You
a
got to accept responsibility.
and
hug a bunny and save a tree.
yeah,
Hug a bunny and save a tree. Yeah.
and
All these
accepting that responsibility, who does the responsibility of preparing these young men for the streets again fall upon? Because they're going to get an outdate. If they were in Virginia, they would have an outdate.
Well, here's the bottom line is this. The
Anyone.
parents. See, this is where we go back to the parents. If you stop trying to be a friend to your child and be a parent.
Unfortunately, Chris, I mean, and you deal with them every day, just like I deal with them every day, man. Not everybody's prepared, or in my opinion, should
Keep
be
your
allowed to be a
legs
parent.
closed.
Right.
Keep your
Look,
legs closed. Put a condom on.
on an earlier podcast,
Hey, listen,
on
my
one of our earlier podcasts, I suggested that just like you need to have a license to drive a car, you should need a license to have kids.
That's it now.
And
Now
people
hold on.
people
Stand
went
by.
ape shit on me. People went
Hold
ape shit
on.
on me.
Stand by. That is a communistic way of thinking.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
Because
it's
that's what
not.
they do. That's what they do in China. That's what they do in China.
I would feel like I would feel like if anybody on this panel would be in favor of that, Mr. Dickens, it would be you.
First of all, I am a proponent and a strong proponent of non-government entity into people's lives. Now, you as an adult, a young adult, your parents should tell you, put a condom on. Keep your legs closed. Okay.
Understandable.
My dad told me and gave me my first pack of rubbers when I turned 16. Hey, I don't want to be to be a grandfather. But the problem is, this is where parental authority declines and parental friendship inclines. We want to be our friend to our children. No, you are a parent.
Okay.
And a parent is supposed to be an authority.
Let me ask you a question, Chris.
Go ahead with your traffic.
My point is this, man. It's easy to have these talking points based on our personal understanding of how we raise our kids and do this and do that, and how we expect our kids to be safe in this society, because we want our kids to interact with kids that how we raise them. That's how we want it to be. But that's not the case, man. We just got to talking about two brothers that killed their sister over some bullshit, man. What's that?
Right.
What is it? 16 years old?
But it goes back to.
Do you think in your mind's eye? Do you honestly be honest? And I'm not talking about based on your experience in law enforcement. I'm talking about as a man who dealing with two black men.
Keep law enforcement out of it.
Killed their sister.
Keep law enforcement out of it. I'm talking about the way
that's what I said.
Raised.
That's why I said minus that. So in your mind,
the way I was raised in Detroit, Michigan,
Chris,
on the west side.
Okay, hey, look. Y'all get to make your point. Just let one person finish so we can go.
I'm gonna let him talk. Go ahead.
The only point I'm making, man, is that when I look at that stuff, my first initial thought is, man, that's got to be the dumbest shit I ever heard or saw in my damn life or thought about or whatever. I can't even imagine the thought of it. But I was conditioned to think that way, man. Based on the society that we live in, I was conditioned to think that way. what the first thing I did was say, wow, man, I wonder how these cats, man, are dealing with the fact. You have to be a desensitized cat, man, to say, you know what? Yeah, I killed my mother, but I was trying to my sister, but I was trying to make my point. Who the hell you know does that, man? Do you really think that we are that animalistic?
Hold on, but
Do you
okay.
really think
No,
that's
no,
who
no,
we
no. I
are?
don't. First of all, you're absolutely right. That is a desensitized way of thinking. You're absolutely correct. But let's draw it back to being your child's friend or your child's parent.
Okay, okay. Now I understand your point, Chris. Right. So I'm going to ask you guys this. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Chris said. Chris feels as though, and tell me if I'm wrong, Chris. He feels as though that the problem in our situation. I say our because Damon's right. It's individual shit going on here. How you raise a child, how you think. But in our Chris says in our situation, is you trying to be your child's friend, and that throws your child out there
It
on
does.
some.
It
Okay,
does.
now me, I'm a proponent of this, understanding that Damon put it earlier, talking point. I'm not gonna just grab on to one thing. You know why? Because I got 30 years of law enforcement, knowing that it is layers of shit going on. You understand what I'm saying to you? Where in our community, it's not because we're undereducated.
No.
One layer is we don't have the job that's going to take care of our situation. One layer is the simple fact that if a young lady has a baby by a man, you got to think that they're both being irresponsible. Not the woman, even though you hope the woman would be more responsible. The young man, he is fucking responsible because all he got to do is put a rubber on.
That part.
That's a layer. That's a layer. You understand what I'm saying? It is layers of things that's going on with those two young men. First of all, my opinion about it is saddest shit I've ever heard in my life. And I've heard some sad shit, guys. But that's the saddest. Because y'all heard me say it earlier. Why the fuck are you arguing with your brother when you got a pistol? Now, is this advocating for violence? No. But you got a fucking pistol. Why the fuck do you care that he got a more expensive present than you do? That's the information that we got, right? But to have your own opinion doesn't mean, especially if everybody else agree with you, doesn't mean that you're wrong. It's the fact that you stopped at a particular layer on things. That's where you stop and you're comfortable being there. But then if somebody disagrees with you, it's because they either stopped earlier than you did in their understanding or they dug deeper.
Could I just touch? Oh, when you finish, I just wanted to mention something.
I'm done.
I was wanting to say, and this is for you that have children and raise children and have children. My grandmother, my aunts would say to her, "You listen to the boys, you favor the boys, or you." But with us, you were different. You didn't treat us all the same. And my grandmother said, as a parent, I did treat you all different because you're different. All of my children are not the same. Some of you I'd have to tear your tail up. The other ones I could just talk to. And you're different individuals, even though you all come from the same parents. And my whole point is that, like with these guys, even in that family, as close as they are in age, they could be two totally different personalities. One
That's
could have
true.
been a follower, one could have been a leader. And like you said, it's layers. what on that day, the gifts or whatever that probably was the breaking point. But it was something probably before. Hey, I got more money than you, or I made more money than you, or I did this better than you. It's a competitive thing. It could have been anything on that level. And it just came to a head that day. But my whole point, what I'm saying was just, is how true is that? And just kind of thinking in that conversation, could that have played a part into it? That they were just two totally different personalities, and that may have had played a part to why the sister thought, "Hey, let me step in, because they both would see me as neutral. They won't start shooting if I'm standing here." You think that could have happened?
Could
She
have.
felt confident in her.
But there again, Keith,
That she was gonna be
I hear
shot
what-
by her brothers. I guarantee
Yeah,
that's
that's
No,
why
what I'm
she
saying.
told.
but the thing about it is, when it comes to pistols, when you're not experienced with pistols, your finger's on the trigger.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I almost think that it was done now. It could have played off differently. But the thing about it is, it's also a possibility that the kid had his finger on the trigger, and if he's fighting his brother, and you have that involuntary reflex, especially if the hammer was pulled back. You feel what I'm saying? So that's 15 pounds, 12 pounds of pressure right there, right? That's nothing.
Yeah.
There's a particular scenario. I have no idea. You know what I mean? It's just my opinion on the fact that it's sad.
It is.
And anytime someone loses their life, it's sad to me.
I mean, but I get, and you're absolutely right, Keith. Anytime a young black man or any person lose their life at a young age, it's sad. But where does the origins lie? It lies with the parents. The parents have to be parents and not friends. Once you, my mom, let me tell you something.
Okay.
Hold on. I grew up in Detroit. My dad
You grew
passed
up
away.
in Detroit. Yeah, go ahead.
My dad passed away when I was 16. It was two of us, me and my sister. When my dad died, my mom's focus went on my sister and not me. I got into college. She was good. I graduated college. I joined the sheriff's office. The minute I walked across the stage and got my certificate and got my badge, my mom, you know what the first thing my mom told me? You're done. You're done. Okay, I was good with that because I'm a grown man now. I got a job. But these kids now still rely on their parents when they're grown. That is a problem to me.
That's a layer.
You can call it a layer, whatever you want, because I see it. I see it. And you're 29, 30, 31, 40, but you still crying for your mama. But you out here committing crimes. So when do your parental responsibility stops?
Your parental responsibility never stops, Chris. First of all.
And
now,
you know, hold on. And my wife tells me that all the time.
Hopefully,
you die, man. That's what it is. Bro.
Yeah. But
my parents prepared me for this world.
But no, hold on. Even if you prepare your child for this world, your responsibility to that child continues on. You become an advisor to that child, and you are in a position to browbeat that child. But the fact that you feel responsible for him and her, that never goes away. You understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're
So,
saying.
so you have to.
How do we
Here-
as the forebear generation that grew up like we did prepare these children to take on the responsibilities once we're gone? Because here's the thing, both my parents are dead. I just lost my mom last year. I lost my dad when I was
May
16.
she rest in peace.
Thank you, sir. I lost my dad when I was 16. Now, as a 16-year-old black male growing up in Detroit, you're just coming into yours. You still need that parental male guidance to bring you along. I had to bring myself along. So when
Chris.
when I see these young men and they got all these fucking excuses. Well, I did this. My mama didn't do this. Man, suck it up and drive the fuck on.
Okay, great point. And this is, I'm going to segue into the last question for all four of you gentlemen. So, you were talking about how you ran into young men that made excuses about what they didn't receive and the mistakes that they made, right?
Facts.
When do you think, to the four of you guys, when do you think the concept of right and wrong kick in for young men and women in our community now? When do you think that concept kicks in?
That's a trick question, bro.
Okay, let me answer.
That's a trick question.
I always believed in this. No matter how hard.
You talking about what people you talking about people going through their own maturation process?
Yeah, hold on, dog. I'm getting ready to explain. No matter how much someone went through, and it's sad if you got to go through a lot of crazy stuff, man, growing up. But the one thing that's always stuck out to me is, no matter what you went through, especially if you're of right mind, you might be angry as fuck, you might be hostile as fuck, but you know what's right and what's wrong. My question to you guys is, when do you get to that point? When is that? Is it when you're young, or is it into adulthood, knowing what's right and wrong? We'll start with you, Jaquan.
I think we had the capacity to be able to tell the difference between right and wrong at a very young age, man. But for me, it's the first time a young person sees somebody get away with an aggressive act successfully, and they make a decision that, well, shit, it worked for them, so that must be the way to go. That's when the concept of right or wrong is factored out. I mean, it's can I catch
about what age would you say, Jaquan?
I would say early elementary, when you're on the schoolyard and you see the bully walk up and take a ball and continue the game with no repercussions, and you start to ask yourself questions like, well, shit, if he can get away with it, and I know he saw, because that's my friend. Why can't I get away with it?
Okay.
I mean, very seldom have I seen cases of people who would just totally dive into fuckery. Everybody's dipping their toes.
Good point. Okay. Chris.
Sir.
Real quick.
I'm piggyback on Ja'Cory. You're taught right from wrong from the beginning. So that right for wrong mentality should develop over a period of time into where you are, teenage, adult, whatever. Okay. And then you look at society as, say, a teenager. You see your homeboys, they go to jail. Okay, damn, that's fucked up. All right, bet. So if you emulate that same activity, you already know the consequences. So why should we have to keep reiterating when you've already seen what's going to happen to you? I mean, don't get me wrong. My father was a big player in my life. My mother, big player in my life. They raised me up to be independent. And that's probably why I am the way I am. And how can I say this? I don't disagree with it, but we need to, as African Americans, we need to stop hiding behind excuses. Once we face our reality, then we can move forward. Because then you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses. But as long as we hide behind, oh, I spent this time in prison. Okay, you're not in prison no more. Let's move forward. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I got this on my case. Okay, well, that's done and over with. Let's move forward. You have to have some level of resiliency to move forward. But if you allow your past to keep you down, that's on you. That's not on me.
Yeah.
You are keeping yourself in a incarcerated mindset. I'm
Yeah.
trying to help you move forward. But as long as you keep saying, well, oh, I'm not good at math. Myself, I'm not good at math. But did that let me stop me? No. I found a way around it. But these kids nowadays, they don't have that mentality. And when you try to teach them that mentality, they say, hey, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can start from the head or you can start from the ass to get where you need to go, and that's to the middle. If we don't do that, if they
Okay,
not,
so how do you start? How do you make that decision?
it's not about how you make that decision, it's when you make that decision.
And
When
that and that's
when you stop feeling sorry for yourself
Okay, so
Oh,
and
when you
suck it up,
determine
hold
that.
on, and suck it up and drive on and say, I'm not gonna let the world beat me down based on my past and figure
Chris.
out a way around.
Chris.
I keep breaking up,
So
man.
your answer is learning from what's right and wrong. Is it in early adulthood or is it childhood?
It's I'm not gonna put those limitations on because everybody learns at a different pace.
Okay.
Everybody learns at a different. Like my sister, she could read something one time, pass the test. Me, myself, because of my dyslexia, I got to read it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times to
Okay.
get to her level. So I don't make excuses for myself. I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths. So
Okay.
when you learn your weaknesses and you recognize your strengths, therefore you can proceed in life because you know now how to navigate around your obstacles. You don't let your obstacles be an excuse to say, well, I can't do this. My mom always told me, well, Chris, you can't play Monopoly because you can't count. Well, I learned how to count my way, not their way, not her way or his way, my way. I
Okay.
learned how to maneuver around certain things. I'm not even supposed to be in law enforcement. You know why? Because I'm dyslexic. I'm not even supposed to be there. But guess
Chris.
what? I'm at the end of my 30-year career. But I
That,
learned how to
that speak
maneuver.
volumes.
I learned how to maneuver around my weaknesses to get to my strengths.
So,
And
hey,
And we as African Americans need to learn how to maneuver around our weaknesses to get our shirt and stop hiding behind our weaknesses as an excuse.
Hey Chris, the only problem I got with you is you don't understand the word real quick. You
Because
don't
you know
understand that.
what? This platform gives me the ability to
Hold
get
on, hold
not.
on. I'm going to give that to you. I just wanted to answer the question real quick before we went. Now, Damon, I was going to wait for you to go last, but if you want Keith to go last, that's fine.
All right. No, go ahead. Keith can go. I'll go last.
All right, Keith. What do you think?
It starts real early. It starts starts when they're crawling. It just starts children, they start crawling in Pampers. If you remember, I'm sure you all not if you remember, your children, you start with the don't do that, don't do that. And then after a while, before they do something, they'll peep over their shoulder to see if you're watching. And before at that point, they're aware of right and wrong.
I got you. Good point.
So it starts before they literally starts before they even can speak well. When they start getting crafty, when they looking and then they're like, okay, well, let me let this brother leave the room, then I'm gonna go around the corner. Now they've got the hang of it then. So the short answer to what you were saying, it starts as a toddler. It's real early when they get aware of right and wrong.
Yep.
Okay. Damon.
Here's the thing, man, that I always stick to. This is what makes sense to me because this is my own personal experience, man. I went through a whole childhood with somebody telling me how to be something other than myself, man. Other than myself. When did I decide, or when did I start recognizing who I am matter is when I decided to be this where everybody else didn't recognize it. They say, well, what the hell is he doing? But I'm on my own road doing my own thing. I get up at 4:00 in the morning. I run because I want to be my strongest self. Everybody else asks the question, well, why he doing that? Because he ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Biggest evil in the world, man, is when people are convinced that who they are don't matter. That's the biggest evil in the world. And they are continuing to go through this perpetual motion that you fall into that lane to make other people's lives comfortable, like black people, and think that shit is going to change. You know what I'm saying? What and who you are is what and who you are, and your strengths matter. Chris, you said you was dyslexic. Who? What percentage, man, overcame that, man, that you know of in your life? That was a special situation where you became successful. But what the question you have to ask yourself, and I'm not questioning you, I'm just saying in general, question you have to ask yourself, did you forget your plight? Did you forget that individual intention that you got based on who you are? Did you forget it?
No, I
I'm
never
saying,
forgot it.
are you falling into that? What I'm saying is, I knew at my weakest point, I needed support. And at my weakest point, the support I needed was that person that recognized who I could become because they recognized me as an individual. Other than, you know what I'm saying? Everything else doesn't matter to me. Everything else doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters to me is that person say, man, you know you are good or great at that. Why are you afraid to be who you are? You know what I'm saying? That is my road. That's my road. That was my experience in life. And that's whatever accomplishments I made in life, I made it based on my vision on how I matter. You know what I'm saying? Are there naysayers, the people on the outside? Guess what? There are always those people who say, I knew you could make it. But in the day when I was trying to make it, you wasn't my support.
Right.
Sometimes you have to go it alone. Sometimes you have to be by yourself. But at the end of the day, and I don't give a shit who it is, excuse my language, it'd be a white person, black person, I don't care. That person can look at you and say, man, this person got some skills. and come to the mindset or attitude. I'm just gonna deal with them because I enjoy being in that company because this person, I see something in them. Everybody is not cookie cutter, man. That's what makes God unique, man. 8 billion people and none of us are the same. None of us. You know what I'm saying? And if you are so lucky to get in that point where you got somebody, no matter who it is, say, man, I see you great at this. Let me introduce you to something. That's what matters, man. Not fitting in and none of that shit. That gives you purpose. And guess what? Purpose lasts from the day you're born to the day you die. Because if you could be 80 years old and have to wake up for a damn reason. And that's my point.
All right, look. I done held you gentlemen for
That's it, bro. That's all I had to say.
2 hours and great. That was
We ain't never went
phenomenal.
to 10 o'clock, bro.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Well, we started late too, man. We started late. Yeah, it's been a 2-hour podcast.
I'm pissed because I only heard like 20 minutes of y'all shit.
Okay, so last quick words. Hey, Chris, great job, man. Great job. Always great job. I like the way you express yourself. That's Keith, I love your thoughtfulness, and my brother.
Right. I like
y'all always
make you hear his opinion.
Yeah, but can I say this?
KB,
this platform.
He that dude on the side now talking about.
This
KB is that dude who say, "Let me get them back on track, man." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. So look, hey, I'm gonna say this real quick about KB. That's my dude. We were going to a call, and I said, KB, we got to roll. I cut my blue lights and siren on. KB didn't even cut his off. He was right behind me the whole time. I said, KB, why you didn't cut your lights off? He said, why? You got yours on. Hey, can you get mad at somebody to just tell you the truth? No, you can't. You can't get mad at nobody to tell you the truth. And I'll never forget. I never forget. I was training him for investigation. KB stopped me. Hold on.
You know, KB finna get on your head, right?
No, he's not. Hold on. Stand by with the traffic. He's not gonna get in my head because this is KB's words. Hey, look, I gotta go to my retirement meeting. Do you mind if I leave early? No, go right ahead. Why am I gonna be mad at you to go to your retirement meeting, even though you in training? Hey man, go right ahead. Do your thing.
What's crazy is y'all took care
of it. You just went over your limit. How many did we say you get to say today, Chris? How many? About training Keith. How many? Oh, hey man,
you said two. You said two.
No.
You said four, but I only did two.
He thought cause we won't live that didn't count.
Right. The other two didn't count. You said two.
Look, this
first of all, I respect Keith. That's my dude.
Oh yeah.
We done rode together down to Wilmington, even with his oxtail plate. I'm not gonna talk about that, but that's my guy. I got his back 110%.
I want me some oxtails right now.
Hey, look, my man got that oxtail plate for you though, for real.
Oh man,
brought it. Hey, look, wrapped it up in a sweater and brought it into the restaurant. We all start out. We ride from Raleigh to Wilmington to have lunch on our motorcycles. Keith got that brand new. He got that brand new Gold Wing that don't make no noise. We pull in the parking lot. Keith said, "Hold up for a second." We're like, what the hell? Hold up man, my man wrapped that damn plate up in his damn sweater. We walk in a nice restaurant. This dude unwrapped the plate and he eat oxtail, cabbage, and I said, "Ain't this some shit right here?" Keith said, "Hey, I ain't paying for shit. I'm paying for gas."
That's a good ass combination. Oxtail and cabbage.
Oh
There
yeah,
you
You
he
had
go.
some,
had it.
you had some
Look,
red
look,
beans and rice with it.
Yes,
listen,
Yeah.
sir.
and had it in a
Ooh.
styrofoam church plate. Not the
Yeah.
regular plate, but the church plate.
All right.
So, and so I might say I trained
He
Keith.
said,
I did
plate.
to a certain extent, but that's
Oh,
my
man.
dude. I love him to death. I got
Yeah.
his back. Hey, that's my guy.
Oh yeah, we family, man. We you know how we do.
This is
We
a
them.
little bit of house cleaning before we get
I
out here. This
believe
is
that.
Strong Perspective Podcast. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe, man. Share with your people. Look, this is a movement. This is legacy stuff. When I say legacy, I'm talking about Damon, Jaquari, Keith, and Chris. You know, they
Super
people
Bowl,
go
baby.
years down the line. They people gonna see them. They gonna see how they responded to this thing, and it's gonna enrich whoever watching it. That's what it's about. That's why we here.
We're making history, baby.
Uh, last last words, man. Make them quick. Keith.
Yeah, I would say as always, man. It's an honor. I'm honored. Anytime y'all call me, I drop what I'm doing because this is really a beautiful thing you all are doing here, and I'm honored to be a part of it. So anytime
I appreciate that.
I'm ready,
No
just
doubt.
let me know. And I thank you again. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate it.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah. This topics tonight, man, was on point. It's really awesome, and it helps it helped me kind of stay out of my own head. I put it that way, because I mean, realistically, those stuff like that get you down, man. It
Yeah.
can really take you to a dark place sometimes. Because, like I was saying earlier, these things, it's not a one-time incident. It's happened over and over and over again. So this was beautiful. The question, the dialogue, and everything. Uh, so that's about all I have, man. Oh, the other thing I wanted to leave y'all with was to think about, when is the last time you felt truly at peace?
Damn.
That you just truly felt at peace,
Shit, me, boy. You done hit a damn stone
not
right
just
there.
for a moment where
I
you
I
truly
know
you
that's
truly were just
that's
at true.
homework right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you ain't lying.
sit down and think about that thing and think about when it was and what the source of it was, and more importantly, how can you get yourself
Back to that
to a
place.
peaceful state? Yeah, when you need to.
I'm always searching for it, brother.
Me too.
Uh,
Well, I'll share
Chris.
that with y'all off camera.
Chris, real quick, baby.
Hey, man. Like he said, I feel honored to be invited back to express my opinion, my professional opinion, my personal opinion on this platform. I think what you're doing, Keith, the Armstrong brothers, is phenomenal. It needs to be done from the layman person, not from the celebrity, but from people that work every day, the blue collar worker. Um, I tell my wife, hey, I got my podcast tonight. She don't even bother me because I'm expressing not only one sidedness, but I'm expressing how I feel about certain situations. And like Keith said, I mean, Keith brought up a phenomenal point. The peace thing. I mean, I can't. And when he said it, I said to myself, shit, I can't even remember when I was at peace because I've always got my guard up. I'm always at war. And being a black man in America, you always at war. You might not be physically at war, but you
Say that
at
shit
some
again, bro.
point, you're not physically at war, but you at a certain point at war.
Yep.
And I tell my wife when I tell her about certain things, And I tell her, you never been a black man in America. You've been a black female, but not a black man in America. And especially not a black educated man in America. We are especially targeted because we know. And I thank the Armstrong brothers for bringing me on. Yes, I can get a little overbearing and because I want to get my opinion out because I have a lot to say because I've been through a lot. I've been through certain things.
You preaching right now,
and I've been through certain things. And I thank Mr. Keith Armstrong, my brother from Detroit, that embraced me when I came into the job. His brothers. I thank that. Because it takes a village to raise a child. And who says that we get out of the child state? We never leave a child state because we always are learning. Like I tell some people, you've never been 49, but I've been 15, 16, 20, 25. So the stuff that I learned going through those stages, you need to be acceptable to listen to what I say. Not you have to follow it, but be acceptable to listen. So I enjoy your platform. I embrace it. But some people might say, hey, that's a fucking clown. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. You ain't never walked in my shoes.
Don't say that, man. Don't burn no bread on yourself, brother.
Nah, ain't nobody ever said that, bro.
Ain't nobody ever said that, man.
Okay.
You didn't even have to make that point, man.
Oh, not at all.
That's number one. That's part of my character. I'm always on the defensive. But it goes back to Keith says, when do we find peace? Why do I have to be on the defensive all the time? When can I sit back? When can I sit back and say, I'm good?
Search for it, brother. That's the first step.
You're right.
Go searching for it. Because you're gonna find yourself.
And
Damon,
you get to the point where you say, y'all need to be quiet and eat these oxtails and shit, man.
Right.
yeah. Hey, Damon, it's on you, and then Jaquari, you bring it on home, man.
Man, the thing, man, that matters to me, man. KB talked about when you find your peace, man. I find that, man, because I babysit my grandbaby every day, man. And you know what? The thing that I struggle with the most, man, with babysitting her is taking her energy. But I need that love and I need that support as a grandfather. And I try to figure out the balance with it. You know, but then she give me energy back talking about, Granddaddy, I need you to dance with me and sing this song. What you doing?
Right.
What you doing? And I know it's a balanced thing. I know it. And I know that each one of us, from grandfather to grandbaby, matters to whatever it is that you believe in. And nobody can touch that. Nobody can say anything against it. If they do, then you seeing animosity and true evil. Who can speak against a child? Who can speak against a grandfather? You know what I'm saying? Who can do that? You know what I'm saying? What type of person? And it's not about judging. It's about, damn, dude, did you really just say that shit? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go into detail. You just ask the question, and then you let them allow them to figure it out what it is. But God works in mysterious ways, man, and everybody got their situation where they were working through, and it means something in the future. And that's just what it is, man. I'm speaking in terms of how I feel about it. You know, so I'm not the guy who's gonna pray about, hey man, I want to hit the lotto. No, I'm that guy to say, whatever you put me through, I gotta deal with it. Just allow me the opportunity to recognize from where my point of view is, because I can't deal with anybody else's. Just mine. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford to be lost. Because like Chris was talking about earlier, you talking about legacy. You know what I'm saying? We as black men, all your brothers talking about, we as black men, most times we bear little baby girls. We bear little baby girls, and what do cats say? Hey man, I want to have a son. No, dude, you have to have a daughter to be able to have a situation where you can produce men.
Facts.
You have to
Facts.
be responsible of how to raise them. Raise men through your daughters. That's never going to change, bro. That's what it's going to be. That's why it's like 5-1. That's building. That's producing. But you
That's
can't
keeping
have
the
an ego to
legacy.
the point where you can say, "Oh, this only one sons." No, dude. A man raised a daughter to influence a man, and that man says, "Okay, I know your dad. He a real dude. All right, I could be lenient to a certain point." But that dad and that man talk to each other and say, "All right, man, I need you to be this man for my daughter, and I trust you as a man.
Mm-hmm.
I trust you as a man." And that's going to be revealed whether or not you that or not. It's going to be revealed. And then
Yes,
me
sir.
and my brothers and my uncles, whoever, going to come to the house and grab her shit and take it out your crib if you ain't that dude, bro.
Hmm.
If you ain't that dude, and that's just what it is. And we cannot, as black people, allow the world to dictate to us how we raise our men and our women. It's just what it is. And we hold each other accountable.
Hold on, Damon.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm glad you said that.
All right. Hey, Chris,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jaquari, bring us on home, man.
Hey man, some very good questions, very good answers to some very good questions. As always, gentlemen, you all done a phenomenal job, man. I pray that you expressed yourselves, man, and got your points across. And if not, I look forward to the next time. And that's it.
Okay. All right, stay on, guys. We get ready to go off live. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. We on this piece every Friday at 7:30. Tune in. This is real big energy. Check us out. Spread the word. If you want to come on, get in touch with me, and we're gonna make it happen. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Good night.